I woke up to laughter, the sharp, echoing kind that doesn't belong inside your dream home. For a second, I thought I was still asleep, until I heard the splash. Then another, then music. I stumbled out of bed, heart pounding, and yanked the curtains open. 3 women were in my backyard pool, not beside it. In it, floating on swan inflatables, sipping drinks, blasting pop music loud enough to shake the fence. And one of them had the nerve to wave at me like I was the intruder. That's when I met Karen, wide-brimmed hat, oversized sunglasses. The kind of confidence only a lifetime of entitlement could buy. She leaned back, half smiling, and said, "Sweetheart, this is the community pool." I blinked. "No, it's not. I bought this house 2 months ago. The pool's on my land." She laughed. "Oh, honey, I have a key. So unless you're squatting here." I should have known then that my dream home in Brookdale Estates wasn't going to be peaceful. But I didn't. I thought I could reason with people. That evening I met with Paul, the HOA president, polished, polite, and hollow. When I told him what happened, he chuckled nervously. "Oh, Karen's spirited. I'm sure it's just a misunderstanding. Maybe you could extend some goodwill. She's a respected member of the board." Goodwill. That word stuck to me like chlorine. "She broke into my pool," I said. He sighed. "Pick your battles, Tom." It sounded wise until I realized it always benefits the aggressor. That night I checked my gate locked, or so I thought. Out of habit I tested it. Click. It opened clean. Someone had filed the latch. Deliberately. Karen wasn't bluffing. She wasn't asking for permission. She was claiming territory. I replaced the lock, added cameras. 4 of them, 1 by the pool, 1 at the gate, 2 along the fence. For a few quiet days I convinced myself it was over. Then Tuesday noon, while I was at work, my phone buzzed. Motion detected. I opened the feed. There she was, Karen, lounging by the pool like she was posing for a magazine. She stayed for 2 hours, scrolling her phone occasionally, glancing straight into the camera and smiling. The next day, same thing. Thursday, she brought friends. Friday, she toasted the camera with a drink. By the weekend, I wasn't angry, I was numb. When I went to the HOA office again, the assistant smiled awkwardly. "Oh, Karen's using the pool again. Didn't you two settle that?" "Settle that?" My hands shook. I realized this wasn't ignorance. It was arrogance reinforced by power. That night I sat at my kitchen table surrounded by papers, the deed, the plat map, HOA bylaws. Every line said the same thing. The pool was mine. But proof didn't matter to people like her. They don't believe in rules. They believe in reactions. I whispered to the moonlit water, "You picked the wrong pool, Karen." Something in me shifted, not rage resolve. If she wanted to play games, I'd play smarter. I called an old friend, Dr. Mason Alder, a chemistry professor. We'd gone through college together, the kind of guy who once turned beer and boredom into a science fair project. "Mason," I said, "I need help with something unusual." When I told him the story, he paused. "You're serious?" "Completely," he sighed. "All right. If you want something safe but unforgettable, I might have an idea." Over the next few days, we worked quietly. Mason designed a harmless water additive, a cosmetic dye used in lab demos that reacted only with the ingredients in Karen's brand of sunscreen. Non-toxic, temporary, but vivid. When exposed to sunlight, it would turn the water and anything coated in that sunscreen emerald green. We tested it in my garage. A few drops in clear water, a smear of her sunscreen, and bloom. The water shifted from blue to brilliant green, harmless, temporary, but undeniable. "This isn't revenge," Mason said, handing me the vial. "It's exposure. Document everything." I did. Time, weather, dosage, camera angles, neighbor witness, all logged. If Karen wanted to keep swimming, fine. But she'd be glowing when she did. Days later, the trap was set. Cameras aligned. My neighbor Jim on standby with his phone. The sky perfect, not a cloud in sight. At 11:42 a.m. she appeared, right on cue. Karen's sunglasses on hat, tilted 2 friends trailing behind her carrying snacks and an inflatable flamingo. They moved with the kind of confidence only people who've never been told no can have. She winked at my camera, spread her towel, and started her sunscreen ritual, slow, smug, methodical. Then she dove in. For a moment, nothing. The water sparkled like it always did. Then slowly, impossibly, it shifted. blue to green, deep shimmering emerald spreading outward like ink through glass. Karen looked down at her arms, confused. Her friends laughed until they didn't, because the green was spreading across their skin, their hair, their swimsuits. They screamed, scrambled out of the pool, dripping neon water across my deck. Karen shouted, "Chemical attack! Somebody help me," while holding her phone up. Live streaming from my property. The irony was cinematic. She was broadcasting her own trespassing, the gate entry, the sunscreen, the jump. Every timestamp synced with my cameras. Neighbors peeked over fences. Phones came out. Jim filmed from his porch, calm as ever. I sat inside watching it unfold like a silent courtroom. Karen ranted into her phone. "He poisoned me. Look what he did." Her skin glowed bright green under the sun, her arrogance bleeding into panic. But even as she shouted, she slipped into performance mode, tears, outrage, theatrics. The police arrived 20 minutes later. 2 officers, calm, professional. One of them, Officer Ruiz, asked to see the footage. I handed him everything, timestamps, logs, data sheets. He watched, expressionless. When the video ended, he looked up. "So she entered without permission." "Yes, sir, and this chemical cosmetic dye, non-toxic, used in beauty schools, washes off in a day." He nodded, tired but amused. "All right, no crime on your end, but she's definitely trespassing." Karen, meanwhile, was shrieking at her camera, threatening lawsuits, demanding I be arrested. The officers ignored her, quietly taking notes. That night the footage went viral. Someone titled it, "HOA Karen Turns Herself Green." Memes flooded neighborhood chats. Kids shouted Shrek when she drove by. At first, a few defended her. No one deserves that until the receipts dropped. Clips of her unlocking the gate, hiring a pool cleaner, bragging about community access. The narrative flipped fast. A week later, things escalated in a way I never expected. The HOA, under public pressure, called an emergency audit, and what they found was brighter than any green dye. Karen, the self-appointed queen of our neighborhood, had been embezzling HOA funds for years. Fake maintenance invoices, shell companies missing receipts, thousands of dollars gone. Paul, the president, who once told me to pick my battles, resigned within days. The board dissolved. When the police showed up at Karen's house again, it wasn't for my pool. It was for fraud. I watched from my porch as they questioned her. She looked smaller that day. Her tan faded, her sunglasses gone. She saw me, of course. She always did. And before turning away, she shouted across the street, "You think you won? You think this is over?" I took a sip of coffee. It is for me. Weeks later, restitution arrived, $8,500 in damages, a restraining order keeping her 500 feet away, and 12 months of probation. Her house went up for sale not long after. I didn't celebrate. I didn't throw a party. I just sat by my pool at sunset, the same pool that had once felt like a war zone, and watched the water reflect the sky again. Blue, quiet, mine. For the first time in months, peace didn't feel fragile. It felt earned. Karen wanted to rewrite ownership through arrogance. She thought rules were flexible if she smiled while breaking them. But the truth doesn't care about charm, it only cares about proof. And sometimes proof glows bright green under the sun. Lesson learned. When someone crosses your line, you don't need to scream. Just let the truth do the talking.